we are 8 days away from the new Warframe update, Techrot Encore, where we'll be getting the infested liches, a new Warframe, some new augment mods, and some light reworks, kind of, for a lot of the exalted weapon frame. So I figured I'd talk about what I'm looking for, how I'm preparing for those said things, how maybe you could prepare, and just like dive into how I operate when a new update's about to come out. I'm sure the hype consumes us all when we get close to updates like that. So I figured I'd talk about what I'm looking out for and how I prep for it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Techrot infested liches. So you're going to log in on update day and you're probably going to want an infested lich. And before you do that, the first thing you're going to have to do is kill a lich or sister you already have, because you can't have one and go get a new one, because they're all part of the little same system there. So you don't want any of these boys anymore, or any of these gals. You're not going to want any of these. Another way to check, there'll be a little lich or sister symbol right here above your Nightwave. Yeah, you do not want that. So first things first, you can do this week, if you have a lich or sister, kill them. All right, kill them now. Do it. All right. You want to eliminate them so you can get a cool new infested lich when the update comes out. Then, so tip number one: kill your liches and sisters now so you can get a new infested one on update day. All right. Now, on update day, you're gonna want a loadout, and you're probably thinking, how do I tailor my loadout for killing said infested goobers? So that's why I have my Ureli here. I have a Ureli build that I specifically like to use to take down liches and sisters, and what I'll be modding for element-wise and whatnot. So let me dive right into my setup here and talk about the important things. This is not going to be like a build, you must use this build guide for the liches and sisters and whatnot. This is kind of how my mind operates when I'm building for said content in the game, the liches, sisters, and stuff like that. So big thing, tip right here is that the liches and sisters and whatnot, they have damage attenuation. All right, where your big 10 billion triple red crit damage, it gets nerfed a little bit against these guys. So you're not just one-shotting them. There is some gimmicky stuff to one-shot your level 5 sisters and liches. It's very much a thing. I'm not going to say it doesn't exist. It does. But that's not how I do or how I play. So, big thing to kind of ignore the damage attenuation. And I think the simplest way, the most accessible way for most people, is to use kind of like a bullet hose weapon. So like the Burstin Incarnon, the Fenmore by itself from the Zeramon, the Latum Incarnon, the Dual Toxicus, which I have equipped, and they're my favorite weapon for doing those things. The Ignis Wraith, kind of, that's a very super beginner end game weapon, but it will probably get the job done if you have it. Just think about anything that shoots really fast and does decent good damage. All right, that's what you want to use. My go-to is the Dual Toxicus. I've been running a lot for the Techrot specifically because I can build for Blast. They're weak for Blast. Its unique trait has a Toxin proc, and the Toxin goes through their shields to do damage. So I think it's a very good weapon for the Techrot specifically. Obviously, it's one of the best weapons in the game already, the Dual Toxicus Incarnate, but I really think it shines in the 1999 missions against the Techrot, and I'll be using it day one against my infested liches, hopefully. Hopefully they're not immune to my blast damage and toxin damage when I make my infested lich. So I'll show you my Dual Toxicus build if you want to copy it, but I just wanted to have you put a picture in your head of what to build for when you're crafting your loadout. Just use your best rapid fire weapon, and mod it accordingly when you get your lich, what they're weak to and whatnot. So this is what I got going on, super maxed out here, the 2 primed mods, just some crit, multi-shot, galvanized fusion, galvanized shot, nothing out of the ordinary or anything crazy here, but like I was saying, Techrot, they are weak to blast damage, and the unique frenzy trait here gives me toxin damage, so it ignores their shields. It's very good. I've been running it a lot. Obviously, if you play the game a lot, you're probably no stranger to the Dual Toxicus being a good secondary weapon But like I said, I think it shines specifically against the Techrot because of a build like this and the interaction it has with the blast and toxin damage against the Techrot. So that's just a little show off there of my go-to build. Obviously, if I'm killing my sisters or liches, I'm probably running corrosive because of their armor or viral or whatnot, or whatever they're weak to, if it makes sense to. Sometimes they're weak to an element where it's like, do I really want to build for that? So yeah, that's that. Dual Toxis build. And weapon ideas, Big thing, use your rapid fire weapons to kind of get by attenuation in a way. Tip number 2 for fighting liches and sisters and whatnot. Obviously, I don't know if this is going to be the case when Techrot Encore comes out with infested liches, but we go here, silence. Silence turns off enemy abilities, and that happens to work on liches and sisters. It will turn off their abilities. They can be very annoying. Like I said, I'm not clairvoyant. I can't see the future. I don't know if silence is going to be working on the infested guys. But if you're killing your lich or sister this week, soup silence or whatever. You want a decent bit of duration, and you want a decent bit of range for this to work. I mean, as you can see, I only have 128% duration there, and I'm at almost 40 seconds of uptime. So very, very good. Just use silence. Everything else here is kind of just Ureli build moment. I like Ureli specifically for hunting the liches and whatnot because I use them in tandem with the dual Toxicus, and Ureli plus the dual Toxis and Cardin basically makes her baby Mesa, and it's very fun to run around like that. On top of that, her bubbles, her sea snares, they give damage vulnerability, so enemies will take increased damage. And they do hit liches and sisters and whatnot. Obviously, they don't CC them like that and pick them up in the air. But yeah, that's big tip number 2. Use silence against your liches, sisters, and the Techrot boys when they show up. That is my big tip number 2. So, and that's my Ureli build. If you wanted to look at it there, a lot of craziness going on and whatnot. So, tap out of there. Let's talk about our lich and sister tips for day 1. Use high fire rate weapon and use silence from Banshee or Banshee herself, whatever floats your boat. So that's what we got going on there. So what is next? New Warframe Temple. They will be coming out, and they're, you're going to grind for them day 1, presumably from bounty drops, I'd imagine, or you might be able to buy their parts with standing. I'm not sure about that. But big thing about getting a new Warframe is leveling up. And right now, if you're watching this video right now, within the week that Techrot Encore is going to come out, wait till Sunday before reset. And where's it at? What month it's in? Claim your affinity booster from this on Sunday. If maybe you've already spammed it and done your weekly rewards here, but hold this, and I'm pretty sure you can get this to drag out to the day of the update, and you'll get the 3-day affinity booster. It'll be very nice for leveling whatever lich weapon you get first, and maybe you want to slap 5 Forma on it right away to get the most juice out of it. You'll level up Temple right away. The Warframes that are getting their Exalteds reworked, you can level up them quick and reform them. That's my big tip for the new Warframe that's coming out, Temple, is try and save this till Sunday, and then grab it. So you get you can try to scam it to use it on update day. Oh, look at that! There's another one there. All right, you can get 6 days of affinity. That's crazy. Yeah, you can get a crazy affinity boost this week. If you're watching this video super far in the future, sorry you can't scam the affinity booster for update day. But yeah. So what we talked about so far, lich tips and temple tips. All right. Now, other than that, we have a bunch of new Warframes, kind of, in a way. They're all getting their Exalteds buffed, reworked, however you want to look at it. They're going to be using a lot new mobs. They're going to be using arcanes. They're honestly probably going to feel like whole new Warframe, some of them. And Ash is getting a nice light rework. So, it's a week away. Warframes, they probably take 2 play sessions to grind, then you have to take 3 days to build them. Build them now. Build Atlas, build Korra, build Gara, build Ash, build all these Warframes that you might want to try out when the update comes out. I'd say build them now. You know, build Atlas, build Baruch if you haven't. Who else are where's Ash? There, he's the first guy. Build Ash if you haven't. Get on that now, because you don't want to. You know, maybe there's a guy you want to try day 1 of the update, day 2 of the update. You know, you can get on top of that now and build those goobers. So that's my big tip. On the topic of things for Warframes and what to get for them, we're getting new augment mods. So level up your factions. I'm kind of slacking, so this is all me. I need to level up Cephalon, Suda, and Arbiters of Hexus. We're getting a new Corvex augment, a new Kome augment, and a new Gyre augment. So go level up your factions. You can get your augments on day 1. Maybe if you want to make some plat, you know, most augments sell for like 10 to 15 plat. Maybe you want to, you know, buy a bunch on day 1 and sell them to people who don't want to use their standing. That's a good strat. But yeah, level up your factions and get those augment mods. So all we've talked about getting new gear from the liches, like the new weapons. We've talked about getting Temple, the new Warframe. We've talked about crafting now Warframes that exist now. That's a lot of gear. And what does that gear need? Reactors and catalysts and Forma. So another thing to stay on top of is your Nightwave. Alright, as you can see, I have a lot of challenges to do on my Nightwave. I'm also slacking. But what do we have in here? Reactors and catalysts. Alright, don't you know, skim out on these. You want to be collecting these bad boys. You want to get your money up, not your funny up, and you want to collect lots of these so you're prepped for the update. You can just bam, 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 and mod your stuff up. All right. So stay on top of this. Stay on top of your Nightwave. On top of that, stay on top of your Forma crafting. Everything needs Forma. And on top of that, if you didn't know, we are getting Omniforma. So like when you Forma a slot on loadout A, anything could be put there on loadout B and C. So, you know, the part where you have a continuity mod in the right slot, it'll be also be able to be overextended in slot B. You know, it'll be a D and V polarity. So it'll be very useful to stock up on Auraforma. All crafted Auraforma will be turned into Omniforma when the update release. So if you want to get ahead on that and craft a bunch that you have, there you go. So I think that is everything. We've prepped for the liches. We've prepped for the new Warframe. We've prepped for all the weapon and Warframe reworks. And we've prepped for the augment mods. Those are like the big 5 things that I'm looking out for, things that I'm excited for personally. I know we're getting a lot of quality of life. I know we're getting the proto frames, but if you want the proto frames day 1, you got to farm plat, and I feel like farming plat is like a whole separate topic. It's not really like a best way to do that in like a couple of minutes I can yap about. But yeah, that's that. So thanks for watching, and hopefully maybe we run into each other in some public missions when we're grinding our liches. So see you then. Bye-bye.